What's up, guys? So, I'm looking at these images from a wonderful place called Dagestan, or as you guys like to pronounce it, Dagestan. Those of you guys are wondering, where the hell is Dagestan? Dagestan is next to Chechnya. It is technically these days part of Russia. Who lives in Dagestan? Why? Dagestanis, of course. What is their religion of choice? Take a guess. And those wonderful folks, by the way, many of them, some of you guys who watch UFC, MMA, a lot of those guys, I think, what's his name? Khabib? I think it's Magomed Sharipov, Nurmagomedov, whatever his name is. And this guy Nabit something, I think he recently retired. They are from Dagestan. So Dagestan also has, or had, Jews, the people who we call mountain Jews, or in Russian we call them Gorsky. A lot of those people left Dagestan, they moved to Israel, they moved to the States, a lot of them live in the New York area. So, what happened in Dagestan tonight was, planes landed in their capital called Makhachkala. I think that's how you pronounce it. Excuse me if I don't pronounce it correctly. And so these wonderful Dagestanis, these wonderful things that kind of look like humans but are not really human, they're not. A bunch of them came to the airport and decided that they were going to bum rush the airport and look for anyone with an Israeli passport, or pretty much anybody who's Jewish, coming off the planes or getting on planes. Because they heard that there was airplanes landing from Israel. And they decided that they were going to just, do that. My friends, I was talking to my parents just now, and, obviously we're from the former Soviet Union, and they told me, these folks, they are not like Arabs. You don't want to deal with these guys. You don't want to deal with these guys. An Arab will tell you nice stories about how he wants to make peace and all the rest of it, and then he will, you come out of his house and he'll do what Hamas did. These guys, these wonderful folks in Dagestan, they won't lie to you. They're going to tell you, I'm going to kill you. And then they will proceed to try and kill you, as they scream Allahu Akbar and all the rest of it. Folks, and they had Palestine flags with them, and they were screaming, death to Israel, death to the Jews. They do not have any love for anybody with any kind of pronouns. They ain't got no love for anybody, any feminists, female or male. They are like, you want to talk about everything that's against woke? That's them. My friends, so I'm just going to say one quick thing to all my Jewish brothers and sisters in the West who kind of like have been slowly waking up. After they're done, with the Jews, these folks, they will come after everybody else who isn't them. By them, I mean Muslim. So, that's what they want. This is not a friend of mine recently asked me, he's like, how are they helping their friends in Palestine? Meaning, how is this supposed to help them? Their friends in Palestine. I'm like, it's not. It's got nothing to do with Palestine. Palestine, it's got nothing to do with Gaza. It's got nothing to do with anything. It has to do with these folks want Islam to rule the world. They want a caliphate. And they're going to use you useful idiots, in order to do it. That's one of the ways they're going to do it. They realize they can't do it in the open. ISIS, it's too obvious. It's too messy. It's too dirty. It's too, scary. It's not exactly, you know what I mean? It's not exactly good PR. So they're like, we're just going to go tick-tock, little by little, into your societies. England, France, Belgium, Denmark, Sweden. You see the scenes. A little bit in Spain, a tiny bit in Italy, a tiny bit in Greece, other places, Sorry guys, I'm just getting notifications. They're going to come to America, places like Michigan, New York, Chicago, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. Guys, they're really all over the place. And that's how they're going to do it. And of course, the professors in our university are only happy to help them. Free Palestine and Israeli occupation, Zionist occupation, all the rest of it, guys. For the brainless white girls and the pronoun people. My friends, I'm telling you all of this not to just rail about the situation. I'm telling you all of this because, as I said before, we are now in the Purim story. If you guys read Megillat Esther, the book of Esther, the call went out for every Jew in all 127, I believe, provinces around the world to be eliminated. Every single Jew. My friends, these people want every single Jew. And some people want to say, well, if Israel hadn't been doing this, it would, this would have never happened to all the Jews. Israel's putting all the Jews in danger by doing what they're doing. My friends, this kind of stuff happened for thousands of years before we ever had a state of Israel. And they invent reasons. We know the story. Because we don't believe in Yoshka, because we don't believe in Muhammad, because we have first it was the Christian world doing it to us, now it's the Muslim world, and the Muslim world was doing it back then too, the Ottoman Empire. My friends, you can invent a reason, right? Now it's because we have Israel, and because we're defending ourselves, and we got gutted like fish 3 weeks ago. You can just keep inventing reasons. Guys, but this is the Purim story. And in the Purim story, we know that Hamelech, and I don't mean, and the king, and I'm not talking about King Ahasuerus, I'm talking about the king, decreed, he approved it, he rubber stamped the decree for all of us to be, for Amalek, right, for Haman to eliminate all of us around the world, or at least the threat of which. And what did we have to do? We had to pray. We had to reaccept the Torah, the oral Torah, the oral tradition, which is essentially like, without that we don't know what we're doing, right? With the Torah, with how to follow Hashem's ways. And we had to fast, and also we had to defend ourselves. We went to war against, the story with 75,000 Persians. Guys, Ahmadinejad even mentioned that. You guys should go find him one of his speeches from I think it was 10 or 15 years ago. He spoke about that the Jews have in their stories about, how they were in Persia and how they committed a genocide on 75,000 Persians. Again, guys, you notice what they're saying today. Israel's committing a genocide. What almost happened before that? Sorry, guys. What almost happened before that? Alright? Now there's a call for all Jews around the world, including the If Not Now people, and including the Jewish Voices for Peace, and including the J Street people, and all the rest of these Erev Rav. Guys, Amalek is going to kill you too. All you guys who were at Grand Central Station yesterday, and all you guys who were at the Brooklyn Museum with your, this is just, somebody actually made, guys, I don't know if you saw this, somebody made a, the woke flag, inside the flag, the rainbow flag is a Palestine flag. I saw this. I didn't even know what to make of this, guys. I don't know what to make of this. It's astounding, right? Chickens for KFC. We know the story. So Guys, we're in the Purim story now. Dagestan, Iran, they desecrated, speaking of which, they desecrated the tombs of, or what are designated as the tombs of Mordechai and Esther, right? I forgot the name of the city. Hamadan, I believe, if not mistaken. Guys, I think the chief rabbi of Dagestan just said we're going to have to evacuate the rest of the Jews that are left, 700 people, Not that many, I don't know why they're still there. The Jews in Europe, France. See, what these schmucks don't understand is that the more they persecute Jews living in the diaspora, the more Jews come to Israel, right? And America is going to be kind of like the last stand over here. People are going to hold on tight, they're going to want to stay in America. All the Jews who live in these dumb cities, what I call dumb cities, not smart cities, right? The blue states and the blue cities, they're going to want to stay in New York and Los Angeles. They're going to plead with their local authorities. Come on, you got to make people feel safe here. And these people don't know Jewish history. They don't know Jewish history. They don't know what was going on in Berlin, how it was, they called it the New Jerusalem, and then what we saw what happened eventually. They didn't know what happened with the Dreyfus affair in France, in Paris, and in England. Like, people just forget. Oh yeah, we're here in America. We're here in New York. Yeah, guys, I'm driving right now to here in New York. Everybody feels safe, right? And in Miami, where everybody goes to retire, and in Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston. Guys, I think it's time to stop living in illusions and realize that, first of all, we have to wake up. Second of all, this is the Purim story, guys. And it's interesting because those of us who do understand this, we're in the era of Mashiach, right? We're just before Mashiach, because we see that the world is upside down, olam hafuch, olam hasheker, full of lies, full of chutzpah, bad chutzpah. And so, we lost what I was going to say. Guys, we see that we're right before Mashiach. Oh, it came back to me. Our sages tell us that the only holidays that we're going to celebrate once Mashiach comes are going to be Purim and Hanukkah. Why? Because all the other holidays, guys, we celebrate Passover because, we are commemorating the Exodus from Egypt and we're waiting to be redeemed. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are all about wiping away our sins. So Mashiach comes, you don't have sins anymore. You don't have Yetzer Hara anymore. You don't have the evil inclination anymore. So, guys, all these other Yomim Tovim, same thing with Sukkot, right? The only thing we have is Purim and Hanukkah. We have the light, and we have, joy, the removal of Sofek in Purim, right? We have the removal of doubt. Obviously, we know the gematria of the word Sofek, doubt, is the same as the gematria as Amalek, so we're supposed to remove doubt. We're supposed to remove Amalek, physically and ideologically. My friends, that's a consciousness that we need to have right now. That we are in the Purim story, which means prayer. If you want to fast, you could fast. Which means learning, and also means defending yourself. Don't be stupid. You could be I just spoke to a friend of mine, my friend Gila, right? You could be on the consciousness here, and you could be on the consciousness here simultaneously, right? You got to have your, what is it? Head on the clouds, feet on the ground. That's the Jewish way, I guess. But yeah, guys, this is global now. You know, as our friend, what's her name? Oh my goodness. Vera Sharav likes to say, never again is now global. She was talking about, we know what. I think the term now applies to the situation that we're in, guys. I think that term applies. You know, Shmovid was the prequel. And as we know from our friend Michael Yan, he said, you know, usually we know from history that wars come right after pandemics, right after diseases, you know? So, yeah, guys. Head in the clouds, feet on the ground. Alright. Talk to you guys soon.